Hello everyone, back again with another video. This time, these are the blind picks that I got at my recent trip to the radio station here in my hometown. So stick around and see what I found. Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy back at you with another video. And yeah, I mentioned that the other day, if you haven't checked out my video, I'll leave a link down below. I went into the local radio station here that used to be in existence in the 60s and 70s. And I found some albums of bands and musicians that I was familiar with. However, at the same time, I did grab a whole pile of blind picks as well. And so this video is going to go over those blind picks. But before I do, if you are new to my channel, please leave a thumbs up. Leave some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on these albums. And do subscribe to my channel. And if you are a regular viewer, I appreciate the support as always. And I hope that you leave some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on these albums. So this is going to be a shorter video. The one that I was familiar with, there was definitely a lot more. The stack was bigger, probably around 20 or 22 records that were in that stack. This one here is probably maybe 10 or 12, maybe 14. We'll see. I'm not counting. So here's what I found in the blind picks that I got at the radio station. All right. Well, this one here literally says on the cover, Super Disco. So I'm assuming that this was a disco album by the Congas. And it's called Africanism. Kind of a cool cover, though. Grabbing onto the crocodile's tail, and then on the back, you got the crocodile running free. Some tracks on here. Africanism on side 1, and Gimme Some Lovin'. And then side 2 is Tattoo Woman and Dr. Doodah. So this is a 4-track. I'm assuming this is like an EP or lengthier disco tracks from the 1970s, I do believe. Yes, 1977. So, Congas, if you've heard of them, let me know. And then this one here I thought was kind of cool. It's by a couple of guys named Lauren Rinder and W. Michael Lewis. I think this is disco. I'm not sure, but it's called The 7 Deadly Sins. And it is based on, all the tracks are based on the 7 Deadly Sins. Though a little bit different than I'm familiar with the, the Brad Pitt movie from the 1990s, 7. But this includes pride, anger, lust, sloth, covetousness, gluttony, and envy/animal fire. So, yeah, this, based on that, I'm assuming it is kind of one of those... I don't know what you'd call those. Not a storytelling album, but, anyway, in order of the 7 Deadly Sins. There you go. Interesting. All right, next we have Fish Out of Water by Chris Squire. Kind of a unique cover, a little bit weird. And then more of an artsy cover on the back. And this is a gatefold. And I'm assuming that is Chris Squire right there playing his guitar. So not sure exactly what kind of music this is. This album, my first solo album, was conceived and recorded in Virginia Water, Surrey at the Morgan Studios, London during the spring and summer of 1975. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what this is. Chris Squire, Fish Out of Water. All right, got a 12-inch disco cut promotion copy, not for sale. Goes Double Dutch, 45 RPM by the Fatback Band. All right, now, I thought that the sleeve was missing. The sleeve is not missing. This is the sleeve, according to Discogs. I believe that they're a German band. I think that's the only thing I know about them. The Fatback Band. And it's got Double Dutch. It's on Polydor. Double Dutch on one side. And Spank the Baby on side 2. So, yeah. I'm assuming that that's some funky disco stuff. I do not want to scratch this. So I'm going to put it back in the paper sleeve. Interesting. All right. I am assuming that this next record is 1980s new wave, but I could be wrong. I think it's new wave just based on the cover, and it's by a band called The Cry. I'm not familiar with them. This is from 1980 on RCA Records, but just based on that look, I think I'm looking at some new wave there. Let me know if you are familiar with The Cry down in the comment section below. Blind pick, but I thought it was cool and great condition on that cover. All right, next is a band called Heat Wave. I'm assuming that this is either disco or some kind of soul and funk album. Very, very cool looking band on the back. So neat cover, Heat Wave, Hot Property. Not sure who they are, but it was in good shape, so I thought I'd give it a shot. All right. Now, the band on this I am familiar with. However, the original motion picture soundtrack, I am not. So the band War, I'm definitely familiar with. However, the soundtrack Youngblood, I am not familiar with. So I don't know if this is like a biopic movie or what it is. And speaking of things that are dying in our society, the cursive writing. I mean, I'm familiar with how to read it and stuff like that, but I had heard a rumor that in some parts of the world, they're actually looking at people who can translate cursive writing because it's such a dying art that it's not being taught in schools anymore, which is weird. Anyway, very cool. I know that I digress. That's neat album, familiar with War, but not that movie. All right. This next one, guy by the name of Sylvester, don't know who he is, and his album Stars. Like a lot of these other, I think this is 1979, so tailing off on disco. This is only a 4-tracker. I'm thinking that it is a disco album or something on the genre of funk and soul, but once again it's in decent shape, so thought I'd pick it up. As is this one here. The album cover is a little bit warpy, but the vinyl itself looks cool. Band by the name of Brick. Not familiar with them at all. 1977 on Bang Records. Kind of a cool label there, though. So yeah, no, that's the back of the album. Not too sure what this is, so gonna give that a listen once it gets clean. And 2 more here to go. Walter Egan and Not Shy. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but a very cool picture in the back of a very cool 1960s car. So I like that just on the principle alone, with the palm trees in the back. So I'm assuming that's taken somewhere in California or somewhere along those lines. And then last but not least, this is a gatefold. I don't know if this girl here is like a rocker. Amanda Lear is her name. Not too sure who she is, or maybe it's some kind of burlesque. Music, not 100% sure, but a very cool backside. And it is a gatefold. And she's got some kind of a whip there. So I don't know exactly what this is. If it's lounge, if it's rock and roll, I got no idea. But, I mean, hey, couldn't pass that cover up, could I? All right. That's it, folks. Those are my blind picks that I got at the radio station. Let me know what you think. Are there any there that caught your eye? Are you familiar with any of these albums? Leave a comment down below and a thumbs up, please. Until next time, I'm Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy. Take care, everyone, and we will see you on the next one.